Welcome to another of our conversations with folk around Clèir Eilean Ì. And today my guest is Tom Bowker. Am I saying your?
Yep.
I meant to check that one with you before we hit the record. Welcome to you, Tom. Do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a wee bit about what you've been doing around the former Abernethy Presbytery area.
Thank you, Donald. Hi, I'm Tom. I was appointed back in 2021, so just kind of coming out of COVID, to be the Fresh Expressions worker for the south end of the former Abernethy Presbytery. So just to give you an idea of the size, so that's from Aviemore all the way down to Lagham. So quite a sizable chunk. That's 5 parishes within that area, and 5 churches, with 2 that are united now. So I've basically been trying to work with churches and community, trying to see what the churches can do for the community and what the needs are, and try and bring them in together.
Right, yeah. I was just a wee while ago, I was looking at the Church of Scotland website and seeing that the convener of the Assembly Trustees was urging us to work collaboratively to move the church into a new age. So that's the sort of thing you've been doing for a few years, yeah? What would you want to say to folk around Clèir Eilean Ì about the importance of fresh expressions of church?
I think it's really important. I think the thing that I found here, in particular, and with conversations with friends as well, it's actually particularly families. There's a lot of sports happen over the weekend, and particularly on Sunday. Friends, they've got 4 kids, and their 2 boys are either playing football or shinty on a Sunday morning. So Sunday morning doesn't work for them as it may have traditionally done. So doing something differently has definitely enabled them. So we've got a youth Bible study group on a Sunday evening, which they come to. We also have a drop in for high school age young people on a Tuesday. So we start it just as the buses pull into Aviemore, because they all get bussed in from King Newsey, and we've started that, and they've just they come to that, and they used to have football training after. They don't anymore, but it's just a good place for them to come and chill out, and it's all run by people from the church. We've actually got our a special event this week, tomorrow, of a FIFA tournament. So that we'll see. They are FIFA mad, so we'll see how that goes tomorrow.
Yeah, that was interesting to hear you say that it's led by people within the church. Do you find that those who are probably more familiar with the traditional ways of being church are open to doing those new things and being involved?
Yeah, I think so. It kind of depends on the people, and it's about for a lot of my role for the last 3 years has been investing and telling people about what Fresh Expressions is, what it entails, what the end result is, but the direction that it goes in. And there are people that have gone, oh, this is really great. This is what we want to see. And sometimes people who come to Fresh Expressions, maybe that is their only form of church that they stick with. But I think the research has shown that some people actually do come into the traditional kind of form of church on a Sunday morning. It's kind of like it varies, but it's still contact. Even if it's the lightest sense just a Bible story or whatever, or for some families, it's Messy Church is church for them, which is a great resource that anybody can have access to, and there's loads of different things out there that you can just kind of pull out of Messy Church, and it's not just Messy Church; they have the offshoots of that as well. So, but yeah, that's basically investing in people to say this is what it is.
Yeah, and I think it's so important that we can, really see all these new expressions of church as truly being church. For some folk, it might be a stepping stone into the traditional Sunday morning thing. I know around here, Messy Church isn't happening at the moment, but it had been in the past. But often folk would be saying, "Oh, it's all very well doing all these cafe church, Messy Church things, but they're not coming on a Sunday morning." I'm not sure that's not that I'm not sure. It's not what it's all about. It's about creating a different context in which people can explore meaningful faith. Have you been online at any of the presbytery meetings so far?
Yeah, no, I've been on both. The second one, Rory was actually up here with us. He come to have a conversation with me about the drop-in and come and see that in action. So that was great having him up and just so he was getting a feel for the presbytery.
Right. Yeah. So how do you feel about the online way of operating that we really have to when we're covering such a large area?
Yeah. I'm happy with it. It's I think kind of we've come through COVID and we had to do all that online stuff. So actually, it's almost kind of, for me, it's become second nature doing youth groups over Zoom, which has its challenges in itself. But yeah, it's and then having the hubs is actually is a really good part, because then you actually get to see people in person as well as virtually as well, and keep in contact with everybody in such a vast area.
Yeah. If you could invite someone along to one of the Clèir Eilean Ì gatherings, anyone living or departed, no longer with us, who would you invite along to talk to us at Clèir Eilean Ì?
See, I had prepped me about this question before, but I didn't actually think. I wasn't thinking of an answer. I would quite like to see Mary's response to it all, just to see what she would make of it, because I think she would be a good person to be involved.
What do you think she would say to us? When the moderator says, "Any other business? Any last comments before we finish?" Mary, are you wanting to say something? What would she say to Clèir Eilean Ì?
I don't know. I think maybe something along the lines of just remembering to be faithful as she was, because she was chosen. I think that was because God had found favor with her. So just kind of being faithful, I would say.
Yeah. Have you been following any of General Assembly so far this year?
No, I haven't. But my father-in-law, who's the local minister here, he is down there. So we're getting the odd update from him. So
right. Yeah. So what would be some of your hopes, dreams for Clèir Eilean Ì, for the Church of Scotland as a whole over the coming years?
I think kind of more of the expansion outwards of kind of fresh expressions of church. I think that's really key. I think particularly with with the teenagers, because weekends are kind of, well, right now they're hopefully all revising and studying for their exams, but yeah, I think that's really key to and to meet them where they're at. Scripture Uni in Scotland are, I believe they're rolling out building churches around local high schools. I don't think that's rolled out yet, but it's something that actually is quite key, of having people pray for the high schools and to be going into. I've been into the local high school, delivering lessons and the such. So, yeah, I think it is more about meeting people where they're at, whether that is cafe church or whether that's church on a Sunday morning. Personally, for me, it doesn't really matter. It's the people and the relationship that we build with them is the key thing. And that's what I would like to see, kind of hopes and for the future.
Yeah, relationships much more than all the organizations and structure. Yeah, that being alongside folk in the journey of faith is so important.
Yep.
Any final thoughts that you would like to share with the good folk of Clèir Eilean Ì?
I think if you are doing pioneer stuff, or your church is looking at doing it, keep pressing at it, keep going at it, because it's sometimes a bit hard. It's sometimes a bit of a longer road than you expect. I think Johnny Baker wrote a book that's called Pioneer Practices, and then a lot it has case studies of different ones, and in there, it's got timelines, and I think the shortest timeline is 5 years for something to actually get set up, but it's more, airs kind of more towards kind of 20 years, that kind of long-term vision. So it's that, just keep pressing, just keep going, and also look after yourself in that, because you don't want to become too burnt out. And but yeah, no, I'd say keep going and keep pressing.
Yeah. Tom, thank you very much for your time today, sharing some of these thoughts with friends around Clèir Eilean Ì. Thank you.
Thank you.